Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Smashing Skull Sessions. This week, I'm joined by two UK bands. I'd like to welcome Coldbones and Outlander to the show. For Coldbones, I have Max, who's the drummer. Max, welcome to the show, man.
How you doing? Thank you.
And for Outlander, I have Ian. Ian,
hey,
thanks for coming on, man. Appreciate your time you're taking out to come on and onto this show. I suppose the reason I brought two of you on, obviously, is because you're from the same country, and I'm hoping we can have a good chat about all things within the UK scene, I suppose. But also, you both shared a dunk stage recently, and I was there myself to witness both. So we'll touch on that as we go along, all right? So, lads, do you know each other from previous tours, experiences? Have you crossed paths?
Yeah, so 2018, we brought out our debut album, Where It All Began. And I think the band we toured with, Blanket, everyone probably knows Blanket. They may have brought out their album or just brought it out. And we kind of done like a tour together. And on the show in Birmingham with Asylum 2, that's when we had Outlander on the bill. And from what I remember, it was a bloody good night.
Yeah.
Good show that was. Good fun.
Yeah.
You'd agree?
Yeah, man, definitely. Yeah, it's a good time.
Great stuff. And lads, again, you've crossed, I won't say you met, but you crossed paths at Dunk. That whole Dunk experience, guys, what did you make of it?
Just
has it even settled? Has it kicked in yet? Can you look back?
Yeah, I think so. It was pretty special. I got to be honest. Dunk was amazing. Like the guys who organised that festival, absolutely wonderful. Like everything leading all the way up to it and the day of and everything, they were great. Couldn't be more helpful. Great atmosphere. Venue was incredible. I love that setup. So yeah, had a great time.
Max, what do you reckon yourself?
Yeah, we spoke about it briefly before. It was absolutely, I would say, life-changing for me. Just the response that we got, the build-up, the anxiety. Was this going to, being 2 years ago, and then having to wait this time. And then we had a phase where we didn't know if it was going to happen because we had a few things let us down behind the scenes. And all of a sudden, we're there, we're loaded in, we're having a sound check. And then you go behind the curtain, you get yourself, you get yourself all dressed up. And then you walk out and it's like, oh, there are actually people here. And then there was a fucking lot of people there.
There was.
So yeah, it was great. I should really, I've had my beer, you've all got beers, but I should really, I stole this.
Yeah.
I think we all did. We all have our Dunk cups.
Yeah, I've got a few of them.
I think I bought it.
Yeah, I got a few.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's something. Was your second time there, Max? Is it that what you're saying? Coldbones?
No, we originally. Yeah. So we bought out our album via Dunk back in when the pandemic first started.
Yeah,
and we were going to play and support that, and it just 2 years you miss, and then the anxiety's building. You're like, oh god, are people going to associate us with Dunk still? But they did. I
was there to witness it. It was an incredible show. Like as I said to you just off air before we came on, I even went into your sound check just to hear you play to an empty fucking hall. I just, that's how good the Cataclysm album is for me, and personally, it's a cracker.
Oh, cheers.
Ian, you played on a different stage, obviously, but still full house. I mean, you've got the same crew people in there anyway. They're just going up and down stairs and up and down stairs and stairs to get to each show. Like, can you put into words like how it feels to be sort of looking out at those numbers,
Man, it didn't feel real while we were doing it, to be honest. I don't even know how to describe it. Like it was just incredible. Like the reception was amazing. Yeah. Turnout was amazing. The way we were treated was great. My voice broke in sound check and I was like pacing backstage, swearing at myself, but we got through it. It was fine. But yeah, it was just, it's not very often that you get the opportunity to play in front of people who are like actively interested in your music. Like I always kind of feel like we get certainly on local gigs in the past, we've kind of been the outliers, and it's kind of, you might catch someone's attention, but you're kind of like a side note, and that's fine. I don't mind being in that position, but to actively play in front of a crowd which is interested in your style of music is pretty special.
You'd agree with that,
It's-
Max? Is it?
It's a strange one where because we're part of a massive genre. You know, post rock is a global genre, yet it's still considered quite niche. And I'm not too sure why. Now, is it because the music scenes all over the world in each country are small, but when they're put together, that's when they are massive. They're ginormous. Like Dunk Fest, we've got people from all over the world, bands and fans, you know, come in there and check in music out that they've either heard or haven't heard. And I just always think, like, why is it not bigger?
Yeah.
Because the appreciation that we get, whether it's paying a show to 10 people or the amount we played with at Dunk, is bonkers.
I suppose,
you know,
is it because, like you said, Max, like it's a niche sort of area, like, but you have it scattered all over the world. So, like, to get a big show like Dunk, people fucking make the pilgrimage, like, to Dunk, you know, like Ireland for me, I thought it was a big deal. Me traveling to Belgium, like, but they're coming from the States, Australia, you name it, like, they come fucking like transatlantic, like, you know, it's
crazy.
It's just one of those places. It's a unique experience, I suppose. And any band who's in this genre of music, I suppose it's a box ticking exercise that you have to play Dunk. Really, is it the one?
You got to play Dunk. It's the Mecca. You know, it's the absolute Mecca. You got Post in Paris, I think, is one.
That's right.
You've got the one in America, which I don't know what that's called. I think you said it just then.
I did. Yeah.
We've got Art Tangent in the UK,
which is huge.
Which is another massive one. But yeah, I think Dunk. And I just kind of want to say as well, we're on Dunk Records, best label in the world. Best, like, you could be on any other label, but if you experience Dunk just once in your life or be around those people, Ian was saying, the greatest people, you know, go above and beyond to do anything they can to make your experience the best it can possibly be. Whether it's Dunk Fest, printing records, liaising about the vision you've got, the best. Yeah. You know, I think it's brilliant.
I have to agree. Yeah, I can't say enough good things about Dunk as a whole. The festival, the label, the guys there. You know, who I've been seeing them since 2017. Like, you know, going to the shows, like, everyone just go out of their way for you. There's nothing is a problem. It's just one of those amazing places. Like, but try and compare it then, Ian, like to the local scenes. Then, you know, in the UK, as I said, like before, Birmingham, it's a big city, huge city. Is metal a big thing? Is post rock a big thing, or how does it work?
Metal is definitely a big thing. There's a couple of like specialist promoters, that do the metal stuff, and by all accounts, like that does pretty well. There's not much crossover in terms of genres. It tends to be like a promoter kind of has a thing and they stick to that, and the venues are kind of the same as well. Which in some ways is quite cool. Like, you can, the guys that are worth, the guys that are worth paying attention to in Birmingham, you can pretty safely go to any of their shows and know that you're going to have a good time. Yeah. Because they care about what they're doing, and that's really cool. In terms of, like, I guess post rock and shoegaze and that wider stuff, like I was saying before, it tends to sit uncomfortably with the rest of the city, so you end up being like a bit of a left field choice on a bill. But I quite like that. I like the challenge of someone seeing something that they're not necessarily into and maybe winning a few people over. That's fine by me. There was a big movement with like psych music for a few years. I think that's gone away. But it was like lots of like Tame Impala-esque stuff. So I couldn't really speak to what like the city's currently doing. I think the country as a whole seems to have a bit of like a post-punk wave going on. And I can't imagine that's far away in Birmingham. But,
and what about in Kent and surrounding areas, Max? Do you find it the same? Like, so what's big musically like? Where are you from, even exactly?
So we're from Margate, which is right the nice southeasterly point of the country.
Seaside territory, like, isn't it?
But if you take the fast train, it's an hour and 20 minutes from London.
Okay.
So we're really close. It's a couple of hour drive as well.
Yeah.
In terms of what the music scene is in Margate, it's a bizarre one because it's always been thriving musically or culturally. We're very big on kind of being all for local businesses.
Yeah.
We're very big on, we seem to be celebrating LGBTQ plus stuff every single week, be in the form of music or celebration at festivals. We've had Noel Gallagher, we've got Simply Red coming down. We had Biffy Clyro last year down at Dreamland. So the music scene is big, it's massive.
Yeah.
Underground as well. All the bands that are now really big. Wet Leg, they played our local venue elsewhere.
Okay.
We've just done our album release show there. So it's really weird that it's not a set.
Yeah. Very, very diverse, so Max, isn't it?
Very diverse, very alternative, pretty cool, nice to be a part of.
And how hard do you find it to slip into those shows or get to support somebody or get involved? What's involved for you there? Like, do you have promoters? Do you do it yourselves? A bit of graft?
Yeah, we rarely play. I think we like to the maximum we'll play locally is once a year.
Okay.
Because that's just how we like to do it. And also there's no, it goes back to what you said, Ian, I suppose. We end up being on the bill with a lot of bands that are different to us, which is great. I'm going to speak really honest and bluntly here, but when the bands are not very good, it doesn't really help us out because people will leave. And I'm sure, Ian, you've had that problem as well. So what we've tended to do is we've tended to kind of move away from playing with post-rock bands and look into playing with bands similar to your Lows or your Holding Absences. It's worked really good for us, and we've managed to get a fan base that we probably wouldn't have got if we just funneled ourselves in one direction. But as I was telling you guys before, we're so behind on touring and playing shows. Like we just haven't capitalized on this stuff yet. The team behind us with our booking agent and our management, hopefully it will change. Next year will be different.
Ian, would you agree with all that Max has been mentioned there? The same idea, like, is it a good thing to fall into as a support to something completely different, so people are finding something new and going, fuck it, I'm liking this?
I actually think that it is probably almost exactly the same for us. Like, I think with like post rock and shoegaze and that kind of stuff that's adjacent to that, I don't necessarily think that you'd want an entire bill of post rock or shoegaze at your local gigs, but curating a gig where you stick something left field on that's not shoehorning the wrong thing in, and playing with your kind of hardcore acts and your metal acts, and there's a few like slowcore bands knocking around these days, which is very cool. I like playing with those people. It's different, but it's what I'm interested in, and it's nice to be like a branch off sideways from someone's music taste that isn't so far removed they just don't get it.
But willing to listen and willing to give something a chance. Exactly.
Yeah. I would agree with that. I think I think the way for us to fit, it might be with you, and the way for us to fit with post-rock lineups is that when we play with bands like God is an Astronaut, when we play with Tides of Man, we've done a tour with them. We've got a few shows upcoming with some fairly all right post-rock bands. I mean, you've got Boss coming up, haven't you? Yeah. Which will be absolutely insane. And I think they're the kind of post-rock lineups you want to be on.
Yeah.
When we played with Delay the Liar, like a punk rock band a few years ago, it was brilliant for us because all their fans were just no idea who we were. And they just fucking loved to stand there just headbanging. You didn't have to sing along, didn't know our words. That's all right. You just enjoy it.
Just go with the flow, lads. Just go with the flow.
Yeah. So I think it works both ways, but you've got to take what you can get and take it to your advantage.
Mm-hmm. Tell me, have you both played in Europe, lads? I know, obviously, take Dunk out of it, that trip that just happened, but before that, was there trips abroad? Ian? No, not for Outlander?
That was that was our first kind of taste
what a baptism,
of Europe and touring. Really, hell of a baptism, but it was amazing. We went to Utrecht the day after in Holland, and played there. And Ren's the guy who put us on.
Okay,
like, lovely dude, couldn't do enough for us. It was very similar to the treatment of Dunk, really. Obviously on a smaller scale, real cool little punk venue, and treated well, lovely people. The guys who showed up, we got to chat to after and have a beer and stuff. It was just great. Like, yeah,
because I was my reason for asking was trying to compare the UK to Europe. Like, I mean, do you find? Max has
I just thought of an example. I just remember when you like. I think it's fair to say, like, wherever size you are, the bare minimum. If you say you're going to get something to eat, the promise is you ever give you something to eat. If it's pita bread and hummus, brilliant, yeah. But it's when they give you like pita bread and hummus and no toaster, and you're like, oh, cool, cheers. And there's just like, you don't get any drinks or anything like that. But in Europe, as Ian was saying, you just get treated like Dunk level, kind of catering or just hospitality. Yeah, so it just made me laugh. I remember when we turned up to a show once, and it was, here you go, oh, cool, cheers. It was just like us in our naive state of mind. So I'm going, oh yeah, thank you. Which is like, what is this?
And because you see, like, I was talking to the US guys there now recently again, and they said the difference between America and Europe is huge as well. And as you said, the hospitality, how they look after you, how they tend to you, can't go, or they do go above and beyond, So I just wondered if you had a chance to compare the UK, then obviously we won't go into the whole UK, Europe fucking Brexit thing here, but you know what I mean. You know where I'm getting at. Like, yeah.
I'll save myself there and just say, like, we've had great experiences.
Brilliant.
In the UK as well as you. For a time, we played more shows in Europe than the UK. It's bizarre.
Yeah.
It's so weird. We've been a band for 8 years. It's a long time. And a good chunk of it was just sitting around twiddling thumbs, waiting to see what would happen.
Yeah.
So like I said earlier, you take what you can get.
Exactly.
At the time, you're grateful for it, but then you look back now and you're like, could they not give us a pack of crisps?
Fucking toaster, man. Come on.
Yeah, come on.
Well, guys, before we go any further here, talking to these two guys, I'm going to give you a taster of what their music is about. I'm going to play 2 tracks for you guys from Coldbones. The track is Collapse, and from Outlander, it's Sinking. So grab yourselves a beer and have a listen, and we'll be back to you in a couple of minutes. So there you have it, guys. There's 2 fantastic tracks for you: Coldbones, Collapse, and Outlander, Sinking. Fuck it, go check them out. That's all I can say. Let's check them out. Guys, next I want to talk about vinyl. Are you 2 vinyl fans? Are you into it? Do you collect it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. My it's small, but it's like, wait. Yeah, so the vinyl collection is small.
How small is small now? What do you consider small, Ian?
Oh, I don't know. I'm probably 50, 60 at this point.
Okay.
It's it's not massive, but like stuff that I've really cared about, I've tried to pick up.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish I had a little bit more disposable cash to buy some more, because there's plenty of stuff.
Yeah,
especially when it's like small runs as well, and you kind of miss the boat as it comes out because you didn't have the cash at the time. So yeah, that's happened a few times. But yeah,
I
definitely.
Think anyone who collects shares you're paying, like, what about you, Max? Are you the same? Do you collect it?
Yeah, kind of. My hobbies for me are really dangerous, because I just go like all in on when I'm so far. I want that hobby, so I go for it. So at the moment, I've been going for a Lego stage. So the vinyl stuff stopped. But I tended to go more towards soundtracks. Yeah. So I've got all the kind of current at the moment. I've got all the first pressings of the Stranger Things stuff.
Nice.
But like the exclusive like mail order ones. So that's kind of like where I started and just kind of went with it. And then I got given my wife's dad's collection to borrow.
Okay.
I've got the Who, like first pressings of the Who. I've got a lot of Thin Lizzy.
Oh, nice.
The Clash, like just everything. A bit of Kate Bush in there. I think there's a Gary Glitter one. You know, Paul Gadd and the Glitter.
I think that has to go to the Springer Spaniel, see what he does with it.
Yeah.
see what he makes of it. And come here, actually, just as I know, you just touched on Kate Bush there and everything else, and Stranger Things, actually, how that song became popular again, and obviously, guys, he had recorded running up that hill. Like, I mean, complete by chance that it all happened at the same time.
It happened in 2019. We released it in 2019, and I think the fact that it's been picked up by, not necessarily been picked up by Stranger Things, but it's been thrusted into this like pop culture thing now where everyone loves it. I think it should be a testament to the song rather than the show. I love the show. The show is great, but it just shows why that song is so good. And I know it's a bit pretentious of us, but we don't call it a cover. We say it's an interpretation, because we've taken the song, we've added a little bit to it, but me personally, I really looked at the lyrics and discussed with the boys, like, okay, what direction can we take this? What meaning are we taking from it? You know, and there was that line in there, so much hate for the ones we love. And that was what we focused on. That line was the thing we focused on.
Yeah.
So albeit coincidental that we released and we may look to take advantage of that, it's not because of Stranger Things, it's because it's appreciating how amazing that song is.
It is an amazing track. Like, and I suppose if someone does fall into the trap of just being obsessed with it because of Stranger Things or because Kate Bush is back in the charts again, they just go onto YouTube, they look and they see other versions. Yeah. And I suppose that just, it helps. There's not too ways about it.
Placebo covered it first, really mainstream, didn't they? And that was, I loved that version.
So do I.
But I had it in my head that we should do that before I heard the Placebo one.
Okay.
You know, so it's not I think it's just weird how everyone remembers that first time they heard and experienced Kate Bush. You know, mine just so happens to be it's ended up being in this cool cover that we got.
Very cool. Yeah. I love your track. I love your version of it. It was really cool.
Cheers.
Ian, I suppose I'll just show everyone here your latest one. This is Sundowning and Unconditional. But we call it an EP, Ian, or like the...
I don't know, man.
I don't know what to call it, yeah. I know it's 2 tracks, but let's be honest, like they're post-rock, post-metal, it goes... They're not radio friendly, like.
Well, we've had this leveled at us a couple of times and we don't really get it ourselves. Like, you know, a few people, it's 2 tracks. It's like, it's like 17 minutes long or whatever. You know, it's EP length, easy. And then we had it with the previous record on the Valiant Machine. People were like, is it an EP? And I think it was like 53 minutes of music or something. So it's quite just because there's 5 tracks on it doesn't mean it's not an album.
No,
But anyway,
exactly. Yeah. I hate asking this question because I hate even showing it because what do you fucking call it? Like, yeah.
You know what? People can interpret it as they want. Ultimately, it's splitting hairs, worrying about
exactly, yeah,
what to call it. It's what we put out. Like that record, kind of explored an avenue that we knew was a bit of a dead end. It's pretty heavy by our standards.
Yeah,
and it's not something that I think we would necessarily want to follow as like the only route. So it was nice to kind of have that little bit of experiment and have that inform later stuff. Like
it certainly was different to the Valley Machine and Downtime, and even the artwork on them. You had this very urban sort of real life.
Yeah,
Birmingham. I'm taking it. They were taking some of those photos.
Yeah. So
how did it change? Because the music changed? Was that the reason? The sound changed?
Yeah, I guess so. It's actually the same photographer.
All right.
So it's our friend Rich Lambert, who goes under the name Auspices, who just is an amazing photographer, and we just wanted to work with him and kind of showcase our city a little bit with Valley and Machine. It's all local photos from city centre, and then we just kind of expanded our kind of view and didn't want to kind of do the same thing again, but knew we wanted to keep going with Rich because just love his photos, and he's been super gracious, just always willing to work with us and help us out, and that's great.
Like they must become a bit of a talking point because you'd look at that album cover of the Valley Machine and I won't say you'd never put it to the music, but by comparison to what else would be out there art-wise, it is different. It is pretty unique, isn't it?
I think so.
Was that intentional, or did it just literally happen?
Not really. I think we're pretty we're pretty kind of isolated with the decisions that we like to make. As long as we're happy with it, that's fine. We just want to kind of be honest about things. We're not particularly I don't really know what the word is. We're not introverted people, but we're certainly not really capable of portraying ourselves other than like the people that we are. And I think we try to do that with the photography and stuff, because we just that's fine. We just want to kind of show our mate Rich's work because it's cool.
I like it. Yeah, I really think it's cool. Yeah, Max, your album, which again, artwork like this. Do you want to tell me who this artist is?
Yeah, sure. So
it's incredible. I try and get as much.
It's beautiful.
It is stunning. Stunning stuff.
So that was done by Alice Sabino. Well, actually, there's 2 parts of the artwork. There was the typography, the icons on the back. So
oh yes,
probably I'll quickly mention that. That was done by tattoo artist Dan Fry, who's done mine, Geordie and Nick's, all our tattoos. We approached him and said, look, we've got these 10 songs. This is the concept of the album. Can you listen to the tracks and do us an icon for each song? And he knocked it out of the park. So that's all commissioned by Dan. The painting that you see is Alice Sabino. She done our first album, Where It All Began. We loved it. We went back to her and said, look, this is our concept. This is what we want to do. We done like a rough Photoshop idea with labels and kind of pieced it together on Photoshop and said, can you do this in a painting? She said, I'll try. And we got that. And we was like, whoa, this is like, I've got the original upstairs and it's nice. It's pretty special feel, running your hand over the painting. But we got the artwork before we wrote any songs.
Go ahead.
Like we used that artwork to write the songs. Yeah.
So it was part of the creation. And part of the ideas behind the Cataclysm. Basically,
That album in particular was heavily concept based, built off of works of fiction and non-fiction, and just general theories. It was a bit intense, but it worked out nicely.
It's incredible. It was actually in my top. I think it was actually my top 3 of that year when it came out.
Oh,
I
that's
was
big.
huge. I just loved it. I
Mate.
mean, unbelievable album. Yeah, it really was.
That's awesome. Thank you so
There's
much.
not a bad track on it. And these I just love these passages that you use throughout it. Where do they come from, these spoken passages?
So on the album, we've got one spoken word, and that is from Lord Byron's poem. It's called, what's it called? Sorry, the name escapes me. It's been so long since I spoke about this stuff.
Yeah.
The Darkness, or The Year Without Summer, something like that. I'll go back and I'll explain that tune another time when I've really got my theory head on. But then I think if you're referring to live, David is our friend. He's an actor. I basically wrote out a narrative for each side of the album, and then little passing narratives for transitions in the songs, and then he recorded it all. So that's a poem on the record, but everything you hear live over the PA is what I've written to go hand in hand with the music. That went
to perfection actually at Dunk. It was perfect, like it really was.
Cheers.
I suppose obviously we spoke about Dunk already, Max, with you, but I suppose Ian, you went with Church Road Records to press this. Good guys to deal with. Have you dealt with them before?
No, this was our first time, and they're phenomenal people. I can't say enough good things about them. Sammy and Justine have been really great to us, and we were just really thankful of the opportunity, really. It was something we'd always wanted to do. We wanted to do, a vinyl release.
Yeah.
And they were super up for it and really happy to help us out. And hopefully we can keep doing stuff with them. I hope.
How has it been received, do you think? I mean, did it sell well, the vinyl press of it?
Yeah, I think so. So it's kind of our first decent step up, I guess.
Yeah.
The attachment to the label and the help that they've given us has really been a leg up. And it's definitely kind of improved our kind of position as a band. I know, we've done pretty well with the copies of vinyl that we've got ourselves.
Yeah.
They've been selling pretty well. I wouldn't like to say for Church Road, but I think things have been pretty good. Like,
it definitely has helped the scene, I think, hasn't it? The whole post scene vinyl. I know vinyl's made a big fucking impact over the last 5-10 years, but it definitely has become a big part of the post music, I think, that scene. Everybody seems to do a run of maybe 100, 200, whatever they can afford to do. Is it essential at this stage that a band has a hard copy? Even CDs and cassettes are back, we say. You know what I mean? We've gone beyond. Are we coming full circle or what?
CDs.
I
don't know, Ian, that'd be interesting one to hear from you. Like, we always get requests for CDs. Always. And I don't know if it's like a post-rock thing, but it's like CDs are what people are like, okay, we're getting reprinted.
We found in Europe, that was what we got requested quite a lot. Not sure why, but it's cool, I mean, I guess all formats have their place. People have still got CD players in cars and stuff, so
I was just
kind of makes sense.
Has everyone got old cars? We can't afford new cars at this day and age, so that's what's happening.
My mate's bootlegged our album on mini disc.
Mini disc, Jesus! How many people have a mini disc player at this stage? My God,
there's only one in the world for us.
Lads, I know I'm holding up a little bit with time wise. So look, I want to get on. We could talk forever, obviously, and I might even get you back on the show another time, and we might do something else. But I suppose I want to get through my 3 session questions with you. I sent them on to you maybe a couple of weeks ago. I don't know if you had a look or not, but we'll see how we get on. The first question, lads, was if you could walk into a recording studio and do a cover version of any track, obviously bar one particular track for you, Max, what would it be? We start with you, Max. Actually, go ahead.
It's funny. We were talking about doing a cover again. For me, there's 2 choices I'd like to do, and I don't know if we'll ever do it. We certainly probably won't do this one, but I really wanted to do "Cruel Summer" by Bananarama. There's something really Yeah, there's something
That's out
really.
there, isn't that? That's of left field if there's ever one. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
there's
I know
something really
the track. I know it's very well.
Well, it changed my life when I was watching The Karate Kid, and I was just like, that. I don't know what it was. That scene just like kind of like just engrossed me. The music and I really think we could do something cool with that. I also think we could probably do like a really good like Rammstein cover.
Nice.
Because on Kate Bush, on Run Up the Hill, we use vocoders. So I think I done the chorus, and then Geordie and Nick done like the bridgy part, and it was just cool to do something a little bit different.
Yeah.
So we'd have to spice up the vocals a little bit. When I say spice up, I mean cover up our singing voice, because we can't sing for shit. It's like so rubbish. We are so rubbish. People go, "Oh, why haven't you got vocals?" Like, because we can't sing.
And I think the vocal arrangement on Running Up the Hill is fucking brilliant. Like, I love it. Even my young friend was in the car the other day, and he said, I like the vocals in this one, you know? There you go.
Yeah. I've got videos on my phone of us just going,
Ian, what about yourself? If he as Outlander, or even as yourself, you want to do a solo thing, go in and do a cover version.
We have actually kind of made early steps towards one.
Right.
We did Without You I'm Nothing by Placebo and David Bowie, which is a bit of a mutual favourite between us.
Mm-hmm.
And that was really fun. We didn't really get much further than it. Like Joe moved to London right at the beginning of the pandemic.
Okay.
So like the latest record and the pandemic kind of leading into the fruition of that project was mostly done by sending demos online to each other. So just for fun, we covered a few things, and that one definitely kind of stood out. So I'd quite like to see where that one would go.
That's a class track. It's a class album, actually, without Jay Mullins. Early
phenomenal
90s,
record.
Mid 90s, what a record. Yeah.
I saw him with My Chemical Romance. I didn't play anything from that.
No, I saw him 4 years ago. Did nothing for me, which killed me. Yeah.
Oh man, I saw them. Was it their 25th anniversary tour? And they'd like pulled out all the stops. They got all the gear, they got all the setups from like every single record, and they went through it chronologically. It was so
amazing.
Good. They even had all the footage from when they toured with Bowie and stuff.
Oh wow.
It
was cool, man. It was a good one.
Rub it in there, Ian. Rub that one in my direction.
Yeah.
Come here, the second question, lads. If you could play live on stage with any band, past or present, who would it be? Do you want to go first, Max, again there?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to throw a complete wild card out there. I saw Kiss at Download a couple of weeks ago, and I thought they were incredible. You know, if whether you think they're playing on backing track or not, to be running around the stage, I want to be on Paul Stanley's lap while he zip wires across the crowd. That's what I want to do. You know, I want to feel God of Thunder and the blood splattering off onto me. I just want to be there. I could just stand there like this.
It's the fucking energy they bring, cool. Isn't it? Yeah. It's the energy they bring. It
was just amazing.
It's a show,
just absolutely incredible. I mean, there's probably like more serious answers I can give in terms of collaboration.
Yeah.
You know, but at the moment, I couldn't really think of one.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to go too serious with it.
No, Kiss is good, man. That's good.
Yeah.
Ian?
I think I had to talk about this one at length with the other guys because I wasn't sure how to answer this.
Okay.
But I definitely think for ourselves, like we really appreciate when people, like we were saying earlier about like us as bands, like we both found that we kind of are always the oddball on a bill. I like bands that kind of are the oddball in their genre. Mm-hmm. And they kind of pull from a bunch of places and don't really sit comfortably anywhere. Right. And for ourselves, like probably the best example of that is Kowloon Walled City. And like if we ever got the opportunity to play with those guys, we'd be all over that.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
It's amazing.
That's possible, Ian. That's possible. Like,
well, I mean, if they ever come back to the UK, we'd be straight on the emails. I think
you'd be there taking their stuff off their vans. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Can we fall in?
Yeah.
Could I give another really quick answer there?
Oh Jesus,
I think it's kind of a mutual thing between us three and the band that and she might hear this. We'd really like to do something with Joe Quayle. We were really friendly with her last year in Leeds. She's a really lovely person, and every now and again we're on social media together.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's brilliant. What she does is absolutely incredible, and I think if we could bring our two worlds together, that would be a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of things have to move to make that happen, but yeah, on a serious note, like Joe Quayle would be great.
And actually, you're playing Arctangent, am I right, this year?
Yeah.
So you're going to see Joe again, and you saw her at Dunk. Well, as in you played at Dunk at the same time. So, yeah, she's amazing. Did you get to see her at Dunk, lads? Actually, did either of you get to see her performance, her solo performance inside that theatre?
No,
she
didn't.
was the day before us, unfortunately.
I tell you, it was something. Again, everything was unique about Dunk, but this, like, you know, I know. Have you seen this part of the theatre? Like, it's stacked, maybe 3 stories high, wrapped around her, and she just sat there, stood there solo with her cello, and not
Amazing.
A pin dropped. Like, you know, the place is full, and not a sound. It's something special. Yeah, it really was.
Awesome.
Awesome. Here's our standing now, even thinking about it. Final question. So, guys, give me a name of a band or an album to look out for this year, or something that you know is coming up in next year, even. Don't be afraid to name drop friends, family, whatever you want to do here.
So I'm going to give Joe full credit for this one. Joe told us about a band. I believe it's pronounced Tvula.
Okay. Spell it out for us there. So,
Tvivler.
Okay.
And they're like a noise rock, punk kind of band from Copenhagen. I think all the guys have been in bands before that have done pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
The connection that we knew was Town Portal.
Okay.
And that record it's pretty big, man.
Yeah.
It's pretty big. If you like anything kind of vaguely noisy and chaotic with some decent grooves in it, it's there in spades. It's a phenomenal record.
Great stuff. Cool. Nice one. How about yourself, Max? Have you something to throw at us?
I think I was chatting to Patrick from A Barrel at Sea. I don't know if you're aware of those guys.
They're actually coming to Cork, coming to my hometown a couple of months' time. Can't wait. Yeah,
they're great, and they're amazing at what they do. And I think anything they're going to bring out, be it 2022 or early 2023, is definitely something to look out for. I'm not really too sure if any bands are bringing anything out, or too many bands bring anything out this year. You know, it was always that weird thing of, will it happen again? Will the pandemic kick off?
No.
You know, and we all saw the effects of that.
Yeah.
And the last time around. So I think maybe 2023 is the one where we all sit down and go, yeah, do you know what?
I think so. Yeah, people are still a bit apprehensive, aren't they? Yeah.
I've just been playing the new Turnstile album, Glow On, just constantly.
It's been on constant repeat here as well. Yeah. It's a phenomenal record.
Yes, yeah. I mean, I can't get enough of it. Dog walking is just that, and podcasts. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Chalk Hands for me, lads. I can't get enough of Chalk Hands' latest album right now. Have you heard it?
I haven't heard it. What about the new Drug Church one? I don't think you're into.
No, I haven't heard it. No.
It's pretty different. It's like almost a bit like Turnstile. You know, just that kind of more dance than have a mosh.
Okay.
You know, I think that's kind of fair to say. But yeah, check that one out.
Great stuff. And I suppose it's not part of my session questions, but just out of curiosity, the last album you played, Les, what was the last album you listened to now before coming on to me this evening? Can you remember? Max has gone left feeling us again, I think, is it?
Yeah, so it was Denim and Leather by Saxon.
Old school, I love it. I love it. and no shame about it.
No, not at all. I love it.
Yeah, class stuff. Ian, can you recall what you last listened to?
I can actually, yeah. So we met a guy in Utrecht called Roger.
Okay.
And he turned me on to this band called A Fungus. And I think they're from Amsterdam. And they're like I guess like kind of a messy, like emo math pop band.
Okay.
And you know what? That record bowled me over. Their latest thing, I can't get enough of. I just can't turn it off.
Worth checking out, so.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Brilliant.
It's a good time.
Got my mate here.
Ah, there he
He
is.
just wants to say hello.
He's welcome on the show anytime, Max. He's
This is
welcome on the
Norman.
show. Norman, I love it.
Yeah.
Where's your dog, Ian? We should have the two of them see how they get on when they look at each other.
Oh man, he's
gone.
He's gone to bed. He's grumpy on the bed. That's it. He's done.
Well, guys, all I can say at this stage, come here, is thanks so much for coming on. I could have spent hours talking to you because we all share the same love for the same styles and genres, and sort of even going back to old school music, as we just mentioned there. We could talk hours about music. So look, thanks for taking time out. Thanks for coming on.
No problem. You know what we got to do it again, but this time or next time we got to be playing a gig together, and we got to do it live.
Exactly.
And
live
chat.
It was actually
a good time.
It was a thought before I went to Dunk. Is it something we could actually do? But this is so new to me that I said, I'll wait till next year. But please God, we'll all catch up somewhere, man.
I loved it. It was
great
good
stuff.
Fun.
So there you go, guys. Look, two incredible bands from the UK, as I said, Coldbones and Outlander. Check out their albums, Sundowning for Outlander and The Cataclysm. And again, back catalogues, go through it all. It's all there on Bandcamp. Catch them playing live. I know Arctangent is the big one for you, Max, coming up.
Yeah.
Fuck it, what a show, what a weekend that's going to be. It's going to be incredible. So make sure you catch them. Ian, have you anything coming up tour-wise? Have you anything in the pipeline?
I think we've got a couple of gigs started about. We've got a tour with Bosk in September.
Oh yes, that's right. Yeah.
Another Kent band.
Yeah. Good lads. They've been looking after us. Yeah.
They look after you.
Yeah.
Great stuff. So there you go, guys. That's what you check out. Check out Bosk with Outlander and Arctangent for Coldbones and everything else in between. Thanks everyone for coming in, listening to me and tuning into the Smashing Skull sessions. Thanks to Richie from the Metal Cell podcast, who always edits and produces the show. See you in a couple weeks' time. Take care. Good luck.